Hello and welcome back to the channel. Be the envy of everyone you play with by mastering your brace. I'm starting a bracing series, breaking down the little pieces. We're going to start today with the stride because I haven't seen too many things out there with one of my problems, which is how long to stride for. So I did a little research. I started talking to this incredible physical therapist. He's worked with NFL and NFL players. He's worked with the Major League and Major League Baseball players. He's also worked with the PGA Tour and PGA golfers as well. So as we got talking, we talked about the perfect stride length. And for me, my sport, baseball, pitchers, it's 80% of your height. So we're going to translate that into disc golf because it's a little bit different throw. So today I'm going to show you the formula for the correct spacing or stride length for your disc golf throw. We're going to need a couple of implements today. One, you're going to need a tape measure to measure the stride length for this drill. Two, you're going to need a stack of putters. The great thing what I'm going to show you today, it works for both forehand and backhand. And whatever your basic backhand philosophy is, whether you're pushing off your back foot into your brace or you're just de-weighting your back leg into your brace, it works for both of these philosophies because it's just a spacing issue or a stride length issue. When we talk about limitations with our power, there's a couple of problems we might have. Number one, problems with our form. The second part might be problems with your physical body. In this instance, maybe the inability to properly rotate your hips, either the internal or external rotation. I'm going to show you a drill today. Then I'm going to show you two exercises to get that internal and external rotation going in your body so they stay nice and balanced, so you stay pain-free and you can add power and consistency to your game. So the correct distance for our disc golf throw should be about 60% of your overall height. So I am 6'1", which is 73 inches. So 60% of that is 43.8. So we're just going to round up to 44 inches for this drill. So what are some problems if you either step too far or don't step far enough? If you step too far, that's going to limit the engagement of your hips. Now, when we throw, we're not trying to jerk our hips. We get our engagement through pivoting around a fixed point, which is our brace. As we push through our brace and this turns good, then our hips come through. However, if we're too far, we're limiting that engagement. We're going to get stuck with our back hip here, and that's going to drag behind us. Okay, we have similar problems. If we stride too short, it's not going to engage our lower half as good, and it's going to cause extra pressure through our arm. So if you're someone who gets a sore shoulder, elbow, or maybe in the middle of the back, it could be you're using too much arm and you're not striding enough. So let's just jump right into the drill. Pretty simple. We're basically going to work on everyone's favorite way to improve their throwing, and that's a standstill putter throw, hence why we need a bunch of putters. I've got my little course measured out here. I've got my 44 inches measured out, and I put a disc at each end. So I'm going to have one of my feet at each end. I'll show you the side view in a second. And all I'm going to do is just get used to throwing standstill putter shots with this extra length. Some of you might be striding too far, so it could be narrow. We're just going to get ourselves used to the change in our lower half. Now we do have our discs that are our measuring stick. We have those offset so we can create the window for our disc to move. You can adjust these closer or further away depending on your hip flexibility and things of that nature. Notice when we're in this position, we've got this perfect pro position that we see a lot of people get into when they're somewhere about to get in their power pocket. So that's also great for us. We don't want to jerk our hips. All we want to do is push through our brace, and that should cause our back hip to go through. All we're doing is some nice, easy putter throws. I'm not worried about distance, not really worried all that much about the results. I would like it to go straight forward in front of me. I'm only worried about getting used to this spread out position and really pushing off my brace and getting a smooth throw. And on getting used to throwing putters, when you change your technique, it's going to change your release point. So we just want to get them nice and straight. It's not a bad one. We want to make sure we're keeping everything smooth as we're going through. I'm just throwing them nice and straight. Again, not jerking the hips, just pushing off this brace. I personally like to throw low and straight. For our forehand throw, we're not going to be offset when we do our forehand. My forehand is horrible, but I'll give you a couple of looks. We're just going to measure up from the front disc, get back even with the back disc. That way our hip can come through. So it worked for both. Obviously that was a floaty potato. Also switched the drill up by doing two different things. One, adding a putter in the middle here to help with your head down position. I have a problem picking my head up and looking for the disc instead of keeping my head down through the throw. So this is a drill in my YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description. All the way through the throw. The other thing you can do is add a little hover. Get used to going from having a standstill to actually getting into your stride embrace there. So that's another drill you can do for that. Now we're going to move to the gym so I can show you the internal and external hip rotational exercises to help you out there. All right, the first exercise is a hip airplane. I've got my body in a totally straight line, including my leg. I'm creating all the internal and external rotation through my hip, nothing else. My foot is totally planted on the ground in line with this beam in my arm, which is basically just for balance. Once again, keeping that body straight, getting that internal, external rotation through just the hip only. You will certainly feel it. Of course, we've got to work both sides of our body. I do 10 reps on each hip. Typically, I shoot for about 3 reps. Trust me, you will feel this. And also, if you take some days off and then go back to it, you will really feel it. You can also turn this into a more strength activity by getting a bench and a medicine ball and doing a hip airplane this way. Once again, 10 reps on both sides. If you feel like your back hip gets stuck in your throw, this exercise is for you. We're going to lay on our side with our knees pinched together. We're just going to lift that top leg up, keeping our foot straight. We don't want our foot pointing towards the ceiling. Also want to be in a nice controlled motion. Also 10 reps of these. I only like to do 2 sets of this exercise. Of course, working both sides of the body. That way we're balanced. All right, that's all I've got for today's episode. Let me know in the comments, will this 60% rule help you out? Have you tried it? Thank you so much for watching and the subscription. Want me to break down anything next? Let me know and I'll give it my best. Until next time, peace.